to be honest, he's not as active, and not yet. Especially the Fundora that we've seen against Keith Thurman, that's the Fundora that we've been waiting for.
I'm with Tim, though. If Boots is what I think he can be, he's got to clean these guys up at 54. There's nothing at 54 that's like, oh my God. That's like, for example, when Shane Mosley moved up to welterweight, Oscar De La Hoya in his prime is standing there. There's no one like that at 54. The only guy who has a chance to be like that is Boots. Boots is like, in a way, to me, a version of Zab Judah in the sense that he is so physically talented. He's faster than everyone, he hits harder than everyone, he wants to smoke. But he has certain vulnerabilities underneath the surface level, and you want to know how deep is his bag if the going gets rough against another super fighter, right?
Do people forget that it was just last year, early in that last year, that Vergil beat Madrimov, and the way he did, and the skills that he showed, a Madrimov who almost beat Crawford, you know, and then Vergil goes out and does what he did with Madrimov. I think not only Timothy, but a lot of people might have forgot that already. And then he goes and dominates second round knockout.
Boxing's biggest names have made their picks, revealing they believe will win when Jaron Ennis finally faces Vergil Ortiz in the ring.
Here we go.
You know what's one thing that makes me think Ennis does win that fight? Even though Ortiz right now on paper is the favorite. He's been at 54 and all. When you look at how Madrimov's awkwardness and his movement in that fight made it hard for Ortiz to get off until later in the fight, Ennis can implement the same things but actually be hitting him while he's doing it. So
come on, Naeem. What'd he say?
Nah, I said, what you think of? I said, what you think about Boots? He sent me the yawn emoji. I said, how?
Hey, he only goes right or left.
I said, how? And then of course he moved up to 54. Vergil gonna take him out. I said, I don't see it, but okay.
Good fight.
It's a good fight.
Great fight.
Robert Garcia has made his position clear, saying Vergil Ortiz Jr. wants a major statement win and is not looking for an easy fight before facing Ennis.
Vergil is able to, fight Boots, and we were able to get those punches. I think it's over. I think Vergil is not going to hold back. Vergil has great, insane power at 154. So I think Vergil will finish him.
Garcia expects Ortiz to have enough power to stop Ennis, while Tim Bradley disagrees, predicting a dominant performance from Boots in a fight he strongly favors.
I mean, with the Ortiz, you may see a completely different guy, especially if he gets touched.
Man, he gonna cook Ortiz.
Oh,
he gonna cook Ortiz just like he just got done cooking Zayas. Look, man.
But that was expected, though.
Listen to me.
You're talking about Zayas as a guy that isn't known for his punching power at all. That was
or his speed,
or
really his skills. He checks boxes at a decent level, but not at an elite level.
Yes.
But the thing is that he didn't feel the pop. You got to understand that about Boots. Boots is willing to take yours to get his, and it's a trap, right? A lot of his flaws, but I'm just telling you that I know it's not always a good thing, but it works for him, and I think that he fights off a feeling. That's what it is.
Sergio Mora insists this matchup must happen, expecting Ortiz to start fast while Ennis uses his reach, precision, and movement to control the fight.
Vergil Ortiz, someone that I admire. I mean, we've been praising this kid since the beginning, a knockout puncher, but Ortiz gets hit too. He gets rocked. He gets controversially knocked down as well. He would deny it, but the truth is there. We could see, we have eyes. Boots is the same way. This is the type of fight with Boots and Ortiz, when it happens, one of the biggest fights in boxing against two power punchers that are susceptibly defensively because they're so front foot. They go for the knockout. When you have knockout punchers, you're bound to get touched. The difference is Boots rolls with the shots. He takes a little bit of the steam off the shots. He knows how to use his long frame and still dig to the body. Vergil, on the other hand, he'll get up after getting dropped, shake his head, and put it in another gear, in a meaner gear.
Chris Mannix highlighted Ortiz Ortiz's team for training, like the Ennis fight is already locked in, arguing that the buildup has made this showdown too important to miss.
Run into shots, especially if you're buzzed. So when it does happen, hold on. It's going to be explosive. Someone's going to get knocked out. And I always pick a side, right, Mannix? I always say, oh, well, this guy's going to be the favorite. That's a legitimate 50-50 fight.
All right. Then should it happen next? Because in the days that followed that fight, we have heard from Oscar De La Hoya calling for Boots versus Vergil next. We have heard from Vergil calling for Boots against Vergil next. We have heard from Rick Meridian calling for Boots against Vergil next. Pretty much everybody that's in the orbit of Vergil Ortiz, including Vergil Ortiz, Robert Garcia, add him to that mix. The trainer of Vergil says, let's make that fight next. Everybody on Vergil's side seems like they're ready to go.
Bradley's prediction has drawn a strong response from Garcia, who sees the potential matchup very differently. Garcia believes Bradley is overlooking Ortiz's biggest strengths, especially his pressure, aggression, and punching power. In his view, those weapons could expose weaknesses in Boots and make the fight far more difficult than many expect.
What do you think he sees that, I don't know, maybe?
Look, Bradley's a former world champion, a great person. He knows how to speak well. He's done commentary on fights for ESPN, so he's got experience on everything. Maybe it's just favoritism. Maybe it's just something to do with being, having a favorite fighter. It could be that. I don't know. Look, I'm not saying he's, I can't say because we don't know. You're wrong. Or get in a fight with Timothy Bradley, because I'm not gonna do that. He's a friend and a good person, but I think the opposite. I totally think the opposite. I think Vergil.
Garcia reminds Bradley that Ortiz already owns a major win over Israel Madrimov, the same fighter who gave Terrence Crawford a demanding test. He argues that Ortiz's recent form deserves more attention, especially since two of his strongest performances came last year. Garcia feels fans and analysts have been too quick to overlook those victories while focusing on what comes next.
Do people forget that it was just last year, early in that last year, that Vergil beat Madrimov and the way he did, and the skills that he showed, a Madrimov who almost beat Crawford, and then Vergil goes out and does what he did with Madrimov. I think not only Timothy, but a lot of people might have forgot that already. And then he goes and dominates second round knockout Lubin. Man, it hasn't been not even a year since Vergil's last fight. And it seems like they already forgot his last couple of performances, man. Those were the two of his best performances against Madrimov.
Sebastian Fundora expects Ortiz to get his opportunity against Boots before Fundora receives his own shot. He is firmly siding with Ortiz, pointing to weaknesses Ennis displayed against Xander Zayas. Fundora believes Ortiz can capitalize on those openings, with constant pressure and a disciplined attack, giving him the tools needed to control the action and potentially win the fight on the scorecards.
We saw some flaws from Boots with the last fight. He looked great. He beat Zayas. Pretty easy. But that third round still raises some questions, right? It raised everybody some questions. How does he do with pressure? Vergil is a pressure fighter, and he hits hard. I consider myself also a pressure fighter. He throws a lot of punches and hits hard. So we'll see what happens when he fights one of us. I guess Vergil's first. So we'll see what happens with that, but I favor Vergil.
Well, I actually meant your deepest thoughts about them as opponents for yourself than each other.
Oh yeah. I'll beat them both. It's as simple as I'll beat them both. I think those are great fights. Great fights. Again, being of the zone, all of us now.
All of this has only strengthened the case for 154 pounds being one of boxing's most competitive divisions. Bradley calls it the sport's best because of the number of high-level fights available. The Inside the Ring panel also views Ortiz as one of the toughest challenges for Boots. Bradley points to Jermell Charlo's return as further proof of the division's growing importance.
You see his determination? Did you see it the other night? You saw his determination and will? Vergil Ortiz, what does he have? That determination and that will.
And Vergil's a little twitchy too for a guy with power.
Yeah.
And aggression.
And
he got a lot of heart.
Fendora, the same thing, man. I feel like 54 is the best division in boxing.
I agree.
They have the hottest fights in boxing based upon just determination, will to win.
And the matchups.
You got to kill these dudes to win.
And then
really? You didn't have to kill Xander to win?
Who? No, I'm talking about you got to. I'm talking about Boots.
So now you're talking about. So now you're down to 3 guys that you're saying that about.
And then on top of that, you got Charlo coming in the mix. He's still not there.
And I like.
Here's the problem.
I like Charlo.
Here's the problem with Jamel.
While Boots continues to receive plenty of praise, Garcia believes there are still weaknesses opponents can target. After studying his latest performance, he spotted openings that Ortiz could exploit. Garcia feels those flaws could become crucial if the two eventually meet, giving Ortiz the opportunity to capitalize on them and produce the kind of statement win that could change the entire division.
Boots, he landed some good punches, made it the 7 rounds that the fight lasted was enough to maybe say it's fight of the year. Round 3, maybe round of the year. So, we still have 6 more months of the year, so we don't know what's going to happen. But as of right now, I think it's going to be hard to beat that. Both Boots and Sayas both came to fight and show the world that that's what boxing needs. So respects to both of them. But I also was there because I have a fighter, Vergil, who could compete against this guy. So I was also there to see that, and I see a lot of things that I know we could do in a fight against somebody like Boots.
Garcia sees Ortiz as fully capable of taking advantage of what he considers Ennis's weaknesses. With Ortiz's camp working to sharpen both his physical condition and mental preparation, Garcia has complete confidence in his fighter. He has gone as far as predicting a stoppage, insisting that if this matchup becomes reality, Ortiz will stop Boots and secure the biggest victory of his career.
Those punches, I think it's over. I think Vergil is not going to hold back. Vergil has great, insane power at 154. So I think Vergil will finish him.
Yeah. Where does Ennis line up now in terms of, I guess, the pound for pound list, and based off that performance, how good is he?
Well, look, I think I guess it depends on who you ask. Pound for me is a fighter that shows great skills, obviously, against the opponents that they're beating and the way they're beating them. Fighters that are in pound for pound list, you got to show that you belong there. You got to defend that position too.
The matchup is still waiting to materialize, but Ennis continues to build his reputation as one of boxing's biggest names. Eddie Hearn believes his latest outing showed exactly why he belongs among the sport's emerging elite. Hearn praised the relentless pace Ennis brings from the opening bell and dismissed concerns about him getting hurt, saying that moment should not define an otherwise impressive performance.
Up close, like this guy, everybody's been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it for a long time because I've got to see him up close. I think he's sensational, Boots Ennis, and it's the way that he fights. Like, that's what makes him the box office draw that he's becoming, or he's become now, and will continue to do, because there are no other pound for pound fighters. I think Benavidez is right up there in terms of like the excitement, but who is coming in from the first bell with the IQ and the ability that Boots has, and literally coming to destroy from the first bell? And I know that people say, yeah, but he got hit a lot in round 3, but that's just the way that he fights. And when you talk to him after, I was like, oh, you got hurt in round 3. He's like, all right, you're gonna get, you're getting hit, but I'm choosing to fight that way because I want to get him out of there quick.
Speaking about Boots' fighting style, Eddie believes he stands a level above Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney when it comes to excitement. In Hearn's view, Boots consistently delivers the kind of action fans want to see. He says that ability makes him one of boxing's biggest attractions and believes the future could hold enormous opportunities as his profile continues to grow.
And people like this, don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal fighters. They are not going to entertain you like Boots Ennis does, right? If you want Boots to box defensively, off the back foot, and outpoint people over 12 rounds, trust me, he can do it. But that's what makes him different, right? And the fights ahead, Fendora, Josh Kelly, Vergil Ortiz, maybe Errol Spence if he comes through, Charlo, like it's all mapped out for this young man. And he won't take a small fight ever again. Like, he just wants the biggest fights.
And you mentioned all the names there already, and you do need those dance partners to become a global star.
Despite the criticism surrounding Boots, Sergio Mora believes the bigger issue is whether his fight delivered entertainment, and he says it certainly did. Mora highlighted the third round as a possible round of the year contender, arguing that boxing involves both giving and taking punishment. The action provided exactly what fans expect from a memorable fight.
Whether it's Terrence Crawford, who may have some reasons for feeling that way, Tim Bradley, other fighters who have said, hey, Boots looked great offensively, but he did show some vulnerabilities. What have you made of the criticism of Boots in the aftermath of this?
Was it exciting? Yes. Was it the round of the year in that third round? Yes. Does he get hit? Absolutely. This is a hurt game, but the sweet science can be on the back foot. It could be brilliant. It could be master boxing, but then people will call it boring. But then once you get hit in an exciting fight, then you become vulnerable, susceptible. You can be hit. You can get beat. Which one is it? You're never going to satisfy the critics or the fans, or you're not going to be able to please everybody. But he pleased the boxing crowd. He pleased us and everyone in Brooklyn inside that Barclays Center.
Some believe the criticism surrounding Boots could actually benefit his development. His defense remains the biggest area of concern, especially with tougher opponents ahead. Potential matchups against Fundora, Josh Kelly, and Ortiz would test every part of his game. Facing that level of danger could force Ennis to sharpen his defensive habits now and become a more complete fighter.
We don't care that Boots got hit. Boots ended up getting the knockout, and he is a dangerous man for it.
I think some of the criticism is certainly fair. Like, as Boots continues his rise at junior middleweight and beyond, he does have to get, I think, a little sharper defensively. Like, you don't want to get into those exchanges with other fighters. Xander Zayas is not regarded as a puncher at junior middleweight. Vergil Ortiz is, Sebastian Fundora is, even Josh Kelly has a little bit of pop. And then, as Eddie Hearn has suggested, we could see Boots going to 160, could see him go to 168. So I think you do want to clean up your defense a little bit, but we're not talking about this being like a C-level performance. This was an A-level performance from Boots Ennis. The reason it's not an A+ is because, yeah, there are some things he has to clean up. Like, you don't want to get hit with straight right hands.
In the middle of all the praise Boots receives, Josh Kelly offers a different perspective, arguing that his recent performances have revealed weaknesses that elite opponents could exploit. While he recognizes Ennis as an exceptional talent, Kelly feels tougher opponents will test his defense, decision-making, and ability to handle pressure at the highest level.
Was there anything that surprised you about it, would you say, when you're watching it? Or?
How fast the fight caught straight away. I'd expected a little bit more boxing, a little bit more feeling out, especially from Xander, but she caught a light straight away.
Yeah, interesting.
Bradley believes Josh Kelly has the experience and style to give Boots a serious test. His movement, timing, and technical skills could force Ennis to work for every opening. Bradley points out that Kelly is unlikely to stand and trade in front of Boots, meaning Ennis could face a difficult tactical battle against an opponent capable of making him adjust throughout the fight.
Josh Kelly. I think Josh Kelly's a little bit more difficult fight, believe it or not, than Vergil Ortiz. Styles make fights. Josh Kelly don't look like much, but he's quick. He got good reflexes. He got some pop on his shots. He's very deceiving. And he got legs. And he gonna move around all night, and Boots gonna have to chase. He gonna have to chase. And he gonna have to chase. And you know, Boots don't really like to chase. You can hear it when they talking. Well, if he's standing right there in front of me, it's gonna be night, you know, it's not gonna be a short night. They like guys that stand in front of them. Vergil Ortiz, yeah, they like guys that stand in front of them. That's what they like.
Mora also weighed in on the possible Ortiz and Boots showdown, pointing to the contrast between their strengths. He acknowledges Ortiz's dangerous knockout power, but believes Vergil can be hit more often than elite fighters should allow. Mora expects the winner to be determined by intelligence, adjustments, and execution, especially when either fighter finds an opening to exploit during the contest.
Vergil Ortiz, someone that I admire. I mean, we've been praising this kid since the beginning, a knockout puncher, but Ortiz gets hit too. He gets rocked. He gets controversially knocked down as well. He would deny it, but the truth is there. We could see, we have eyes. Boots is the same way. This is the type of fight with Boots and Ortiz. If when it happens. One of the biggest fights in boxing against two power punchers that are susceptibly defensively because they're so front foot. They go for the knockout. When you have knockout punchers, you're bound to get touched. The difference is Boots rolls with the shots. He takes a little bit of the steam off the shots. He knows how to use his long frame and still dig to the body. Vergil, on the other hand, he'll get up after getting dropped.
Greg Hackett sees little reason to believe Josh can seriously trouble Boots, viewing Kelly as another fighter who could fall victim to Ennis. He warns against comparing Kelly's bout with Bakram Murtazaliev to a fight against Boots, insisting Ennis presents a completely different challenge. Hackett points to Ennis's switch hitting, speed, and fight-ending power as major weapons that could overwhelm Josh.
But Josh Kelly is just another victim, you know what I'm saying? To be real. I mean, he in the way. I mean, we respect Josh Kelly, but he gotta go. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is right now. If you ask me. We know that he got quick feet, and you know, he gonna try to make the fight tough for you. He not the biggest puncher, but he can hit a little bit. And you know, with a guy like Josh Kelly, you just gotta be patient. You can't be eager to get to him because you know he gonna make sure he do whatever to get up out of there, like he did with Bakram. Gave Bakram some trouble, but Boots isn't Bakram, so you know it's gonna be a different type of fight. But yeah, those are the things you gotta watch out for. You can't just go in there and think you're gonna just punch a man in his head and he ain't gonna do nothing about it. No, Josh Kelly is gonna be quick on his feet.
Hackett believes the matchup would still present challenges for Boots despite favoring him to win. He expects Kelly to rely on movement, timing, and pressure to make things difficult. From Ennis's perspective, Hackett believes the key would be staying composed, cutting off the ring, and forcing Kelly into exchanges where Boots can use his speed and power effectively.
And especially fighting Boots, that's gonna probably be the quickest we ever seen him. He's gonna be quick on his feet, hands gonna be fast, and he's gonna be trying to get in and get out. You know what I mean? So you gotta be good and patient and be ready to go to that body. You know what I mean?
If you're Boots, how do you approach this fight with a guy that you know?
Patience, because he not really trying to get in a shootout. Xander was willing to get in a shootout with Boots. Josh Kelly is not gonna be willing to get in no shootout. That ain't what he trying to do. Josh Kelly trying to be who he is, pretty boy. You know what I mean? So that means when you carry a name like that, you basing your style off of hitting and not get hit. You know what I mean? So that's saying he gonna be in there trying his best to get some shit off and then get the fuck up out of there.
Bomac sees both Fundora and Vergil Ortiz Jr. as genuine 50-50 challenges for Boots. He notes that every fighter involved has faced adversity and been hurt before, proving nobody is unbeatable. That history adds another level of uncertainty, because one mistake or momentum swing could ultimately decide which fighter leaves the ring with the victory.
I think it's a 50-50 across the board, you know, because when you look at Vergil, and when he get guys hurt, like maybe Boots was hurt, you know, he finished them off. You look at Fundora with the range and the height he got, you know, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. And so we all waiting to see, you know, when those two or three, you know, like the four kings, when they tangle. So we, you know, as boxing fans, we just sit back and wait.
Greg Hackett raised serious doubts about Fundora's readiness to face Boots at 154 pounds. He believes the weight class could become a major factor, especially if Fundora is still adjusting to the demands of competing at this level. Hackett argues that once the pressure intensifies, any weaknesses caused by that transition could become obvious and give Ennis a major advantage.
I don't think Fundora wants that trouble at 54. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's so sure of himself. I think it's going to take him a couple years mentally to be really sure of himself. He talk a good game. He do. When he do his interviews, he talk a hell of a game. 30 seconds, he talk a hell of a game, but I don't think this is just me off of my observation. I don't think he's pleased with himself just yet to say he's going to fight Boots after after this fight. I don't think so.
If Boots goes into the fight with Josh Kelly victorious, wouldn't that put more added pressure on Fundora?
It would, but you know, these dudes come out with moves all the time. You see new moves every year. Switch.
The move to 154 pounds could open the door to a dominant run. Buddy McGirt believes nobody in the division can beat him right now, and even predicts a stoppage against Fundora. While McGirt sees Ortiz as the toughest challenge, he still favors Boots because of his speed, power, technique, and ability to control fights against elite opposition.
There's nobody really out there, right?
It's not his fault. Don't get me wrong, it's not his fault. But and I respect him for taking the fight with Boots. But I just think that not only the better man won, but the more experienced man won. You know, Boots is the real deal at that weight, man. No one's gonna beat him at 54, man.
Nobody.
Nah, I don't see it.
Not even the towering Forno.
Nah. To me, he stops Fundora.
Chops him down?
Yeah.
So you think it's real fight?
Boozy can fight, man.
He can?
He can fight. He's the real deal. He can fight.
So So what, you think his real test is Vergil Ortiz?
Yeah, but I pick him to beat Vergil as well.
Jaron Ennis has outlined an ambitious plan for Boots at 154 pounds, with the goal of capturing every major belt and becoming undisputed. He expects Ennis back in December, with Fundora and Josh Kelly under consideration, although Fundora remains the preferred option. Bozy also made it clear that the team has stopped waiting for Errol Spence Jr. and is moving forward.
And that's another good fighter. Fundora, you want to fight the best, man.
Is that the fight that you want next? Like he said, he has to fight. Is mandatory. That's the fight he's gonna fight.
But that's the fight we want.
But after that, he wants to fight Boots.
Fundora or either Josh Kelly. You heard what Boots said. We're trying to clean up the division. That 154 division. Once we clean that up, we might be moving up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Once we clean that division out.
If Errol Spence beats Tim Tszyu, do you think that would be a good, maybe big, major fight between Boots and Spence?
Yeah, that's a good fight down the line. Yeah, that's a good fight down the line. Maybe in December.
Okay.
Because if you fight in December, that means you get a chance to fight one of them, Fundora or either Josh Kelly, whoever wins.
Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz Jr. finally meet. Does Boots use his speed and skills to control the fight, or does Ortiz's pressure and power produce a career-defining victory? Drop your prediction in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing news, predictions, and fight breakdowns.